Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bows & Company. I'm your host, Emily O, and I am joined by very, very exciting company today. One of my sisters. Hello, Claire. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming. This is your first time recording in the studio.
Yes, I feel like I'm in the studio so often to come say hi, especially when I'm working with Dad upstairs, but I've never actually sat in these chairs. It's kind of fun.
I know, and we haven't had you on the show in so long, and you are literally the most requested person.
Oh my God, how fun is that?
I know. It's actually so funny that I'm talking to you right now with the headphones on. I'm like, we haven't done this in so long, but we are beyond excited to have you on the show for a very, 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 very exciting episode. Everyone listening at home, you're going to want to tune in. And we're just so excited to jump into everything that we have today. Now, typically I would start with our bows and lows as our pretty much the only format of the show that we have. But today you have a very exciting announcement that you'd like to share.
Yes, well, you could say it's a bow for sure. So Connor and I are expecting. We are due at the beginning of December, which is so exciting. And we're not finding out the gender. So we're keeping it a surprise until the baby is born. And then we'll find out boy or girl.
Claire is expecting. We are so excited. This is such amazing news, and we're so tickled to be sharing it with everybody here on Bows & Company. We are so excited for you, and we literally cannot stop talking about it. And we're going to dive into everything today on the show. We're going to start from the beginning. We're not going to leave a detail out. I have questions, but I also kind of want to just let you talk, and I will actually shut up in this episode and let my guest speak. And just kind of walk us through, take us back to the very beginning and your just everything. Don't leave anything out.
So do you want me to start off at how I told the whole family? How do we want to start?
Well, why don't you start off with, even before that, kind of talking about maybe your thought process about when you wanted to have kids, how you and Connor found out, and then maybe jump into how you shared with the family. And then I have a series of questions that'll kind of, I feel interweave with the timeline.
Sure. So Connor and I had always said that we would love to be married for a couple years and then ideally be in a house, which obviously ended up being the house that we grew up in, which was so fun. So we moved into our old house, which is now my current house, in October of last year. And at that point, we'd been married almost 2 years since we got married in December of 2022. So that was kind of our benchmark. We wanted to travel a little bit. We had a lot of weddings that were planned those couple of years. So that was kind of the overall thought process. And then Connor and I found out that we were pregnant in early March, and I was about to go get a pedicure, which I will literally never forget the pedicure now because I don't often get pedicures, quite honestly. And I was like, this will be fun. And I took a pregnancy test and I came flying out. Connor was still getting up and I came flying out of the bathroom and startled him. He almost ran into the lamp. He didn't know why I was screaming because at that point, I actually didn't tell him that I was taking a pregnancy test. And, I came running out and it was pure excitement, jumping up and down, which was so fun. And then I was going to be late to the pedicure. So I quickly got changed, went, and then I took another test when I got home to confirm again. And then it was more exciting, jumping up and down. The funniest part, I think, of the whole experience was I looked at him and I was like, oh my gosh, I leave tomorrow with you, Elizabeth, and Mom for a girls' trip to Palm Beach. There is no way that you guys wouldn't have figured it out the second I wasn't drinking, or we're all too close to have been able to hide that. So we very quickly went to a baby store and got little onesies that said Grandma and Grandpa. And so we brought it over to the house that we're currently in for Mom and Dad to open, and then told them that day that they were going to be grandparents.
It was such a fast turnaround, and you're right. It was just the way that everything lined up. You would not have been able to go on the trip. We would have been like, no. Claire, what's going on? So it was smart that you did it together before we left. And this is the funniest thing because I'm literally always around. I'm always at the house. I'm always with you guys. And I had a really busy Saturday. We were leaving on that Sunday for Palm Beach, and I had a birthday brunch, and then I had plans in the evening, and everyone was trying to get me over to the house. And I was so wrapped up in my own world, and I wasn't even remotely thinking that my sister could be pregnant. And so you ended up just calling me and telling me. And then obviously I was screaming and stuff, and it was so much fun. Now the video of mom, I feel like I'm going to have to share it.
It is hysterical. So we were supposed to come over anyway to say hi to one of mom's really good friends who was just happened to be in town that afternoon. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. Elizabeth just happens to be home from school. We'll just use it as an excuse. And I actually saw mom like right after the pedicure, but before we went to the baby store because I had to drop something off. And I was basically telling myself in my head over and over, don't accidentally say it. Like, you're going to come back in a couple hours. Do not ruin the surprise. And in hindsight, she's like, I thought you were acting kind of strange. And I left thinking that I had like been totally fine and normal.
Wait, I never heard that part.
I was so proud of myself because I was like,
Oh my
we're
God, Claire,
good.
you're so funny.
She has no idea. And it was like, I don't know. I think I saw her for like 3-4 minutes. Like, it was really, really short. I don't know what it was, but I had to drop something off. It doesn't matter. And I got back into the car and I remember saying to Connor, I was like, oh my God, there's no way that she knows anything.
You're so cute.
And then after we told, she was like, I thought you seemed off this morning. And then we were laughing hysterically because, of course, a mom can tell. But it was just so funny to me that I was so proud of myself.
You really thought like your acting was like top tier.
Yeah. And I'm horrible at acting, as we all know. I'm horrible in front of a camera, like all of that kind of stuff. So I think it fell into that category. And I can't lie.
No,
like,
you can't lie.
There's no part of me that can lie. So
Yes.
that was funny. But in the afternoon, we came over and we brought legitimate packages that had been accidentally delivered to our house,
right,
rather than the new house. And I had a big bag, like a big mom's scout bag that I had to return, and I brought it into the family room. And you can tell that everybody was like, why is she bringing in packages into the family room? Like, she can just leave them at the back door. So I undid them and I gave the box that had grandma and grandpa onesies in it and the pregnancy test to mom. And Elizabeth said that she was immediately annoyed because she thought I was giving mom an extra birthday present and like had left you guys out of this birthday present. And I was like, okay, no. And I give it to mom. She barely opens the box, immediately like closes the box, screams, tears up, and then starts jumping up and down. And then dad is kind of like next to her, not that far. And he had no idea.
Wasn't catching on, you guys.
No idea. And said, like, was questioning what it could possibly be. At one point he said, did she get you new shoes? And I was like, when have I ever bought mom new shoes?
Mom's not gonna be crying over new shoes. Like,
yeah, right. And then dad opened, I mean, it was all within like 30 seconds. And then dad opened up the box and I think he teared up. I feel like I saw him tear up, gave mom a huge hug. And then there was a lot of jumping up and down and pure excitement.
It was a really cute video. And, but yeah, I guess it just was not on anyone's like radar or mind, or maybe there was just so much going on. So it really was such a surprise for everyone.
Yes. And then I FaceTimed you.
Yes.
And then I said if you could babysit. I asked if you could babysit in December.
Yes. And I was just like staring at you guys. and then it clicked, obviously. And I was like, oh my gosh. So then the next day we all go on the Palm Beach trip.
Yes.
And it really was the best thing you could have done to tell everybody, because it was like we were so excited on that trip.
And most importantly, I wanted mom and dad to hear it together.
Yes.
From Connor and I, because I was like, I could tell them on the trip, but then dad's left out, then Connor's not there. So most importantly, I wanted Connor and I. It just happened that Elizabeth was home from school, which was great. But
no, it really did all work out as well as it possibly could have. And again, you probably would not have told us so early if we hadn't been going on the trip.
Right. It was literally that we were leaving pretty much less than like 18 hours later.
It was so quick. It was really fast. And then do you want to talk about kind of how you've shared it with other people in your life?
So I'm trying to think. We then told Connor's parents shortly thereafter, and Connor and I have birthdays very close together. And so we went out to a birthday dinner with his parents, and we met them, and I ordered a drink. I didn't obviously drink it, but I was trying to, play cool, which again, you guys, I'm not good at that kind of stuff at all. Like, I can't lie. I'm not really good at like, pulling the rug out from underneath you or anything. It's really bad. And so My mother-in-law could definitely tell that I wasn't drinking because, like, at this point, we'd been waiting at the bar for a while. Like, everyone was almost on their second drink. And we sat down at our table, and Connor, very quickly after we sat down, asked his parents if we could bring another person on our family trip that we actually just went on. And it clicked right away for them that we were pregnant. And lots of excitement, clapping, stood up. They actually both gave me a huge hug. And then we go to sit down, and Connor's just standing there.
Oh, really?
And he was like, do I get a hug or what?
You're like, no, just Claire.
So that was so fun. And then we told Grammy and Papa and Julia and Dan. After, the only people that we told before my first doctor's appointment were you guys and then my mother-in-law and father-in-law. Mm-hmm. We told my aunt and uncle, and then our grandparents. I should say our. I'm not sure why I'm saying my.
Yeah.
We had dinner, a Sunday night dinner, which was
How many
so
weeks,
fun.
I'm sorry to interrupt, were you at that point?
My first appointment was right at about 8 weeks, which is pretty typical, I've been told. So it was probably about 8 weeks that I then told
I
Julia,
guess I didn't
Dan,
realize it was that early. It was 8 weeks.
because we didn't tell any friends until after the first trimester. So we really kept it in. I mean, Connor and I had a joint birthday party at our house with like 30 or 40 people. And I was just drinking club soda with lime. And
right.
Because at that point I was only 6 weeks pregnant and was not going to make a huge announcement.
No, it
At our
was too
joint.
early. So I guess when you told Grammy and Papa and our aunt and uncle, you were only 8 weeks?
8 weeks.
Okay.
Because I had just gone to my first appointment to confirm the baby was there was a heartbeat, all that kind of stuff, which is a very nerve-wracking appointment. I walked in all excited, and then I was like, oh my Lord.
Tell us about it.
The nurses, who are incredible, were... solemn's not the right word at all, but they were very, very businesslike, because it does happen. I mean, you go to this first appointment and you don't hear a heartbeat and you've essentially had a miscarriage.
Right.
And it was once they confirmed the heartbeat, then it all got exciting and everything. But
Okay, yeah. I didn't realize that. You probably walked in really excited.
yeah, of course. And like Connor and I are there together. And so far, Connor and I have gone to every single appointment together. We had our big anatomy scan just a couple weeks ago, and the baby is healthy, and no one ruined the gender, which I was really worried about, that someone would accidentally say he or she.
Yes.
And at one point, the doctor came in to look through all of the scans, and I said, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but we're not finding out the gender. And he kind of laughed, and he was like, I accidentally told somebody the gender my intern year. And I think he had been a doctor at this point for like 30 or 40 years. He's like, I've never recovered. I'm still scarred from it. He was so sweet. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are surprised that you're not finding out. I think that was always kind of something that we like knew that you were going to do. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'll do that, and Elizabeth as well, because Mom and Dad didn't find out, which was so interesting. But it is one of like the greatest surprises.
It is. I love the idea of not finding out. I think and I really want Connor to be the one to say the gender after we deliver, which I said
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, because like the doctor can say it, or the dad husband. And I guess I have a good friend who's an OBGYN, and she said that about half of the time the dads get the gender wrong. Like there's just so much going on, and they just yell out something, and it's not actually even remotely correct. And she then has to be like, no, it's actually the other one. So I was like, maybe Connor shouldn't do that. We're not sure.
I know. We've been taking like bets, like going back and forth on, we really have no idea like which way this could lean. Obviously you have baby names ready to go for both, which you're obviously not sharing, or you've shared with us, but we're going to keep those under wraps. But going back to, before we get to our predictions, going back to when you told Grammy and Papa.
Oh, yes.
That was so funny. I don't know why, but I was like literally so nervous that day. And Mom, I'm going to share the video because I did actually record like the whole dinner and everything.
Cute. Mm-hmm.
So you could see that on Instagram. But she basically did, how did we convince everyone to come over? What was
So it was a Sunday night dinner that Mom had planned, a couple weeks in advance. And it was also kind of masked as Julia and Dan's 25th wedding anniversary celebration, because their 25th wedding anniversary was the next day. Not us completely, saying that we're going to celebrate one thing and then me announcing that I'm pregnant at the other. But they were so excited. So we did a cheers when everybody was in the family room. And I think Mom or Dad, I don't know if it was Mom. I think it was Mom. I kind of blacked out because I get nervous in these kind of things.
I know this is like not Claire's department.
No. And Mom, I think, said, happy 25th wedding anniversary. And then I said, yes, happy 25th wedding anniversary, great Aunt Julia and great Uncle Dan. And Julia got it right away. She
Yes.
screamed, put her champagne down, and gave me a huge hug. And then Grammy and Papa caught on as well. And then I ran over and I got the ultrasound that I had just gotten from a couple days earlier and showed them.
Yeah,
the ultrasound.
and everyone was like hugging and crying. And I did get that on videotape. And then we had this wonderful dinner that Mom
beautiful.
put together, and it was like a stork theme. So she had storks all over the place,
And green, because it was very gender neutral.
And I'm wearing green and white today as kind of, because we don't know which way
Right.
it could go.
I came from work, so I'm in blue and black.
And you have the cutest maternity clothes.
Mom did an incredible job. She has outfitted me in so many good wears for both work and for casual.
Yes, because I don't know so much because I'm not obviously in that world quite yet, but I'm quickly learning. A lot of your friends, are they wearing maternity clothes? Do they not? Yeah.
I think it's a good mixture. I think there's a lot of good hacks now that you can, keep your regular clothes for a little bit longer. I think for the most part, people are wearing maternity clothes, and there's some pretty cute ones. There's some ugly maternity clothes that, 'cause we've all kind of talked about it, all of like my girlfriends that have been pregnant. Like you do have to look because it gets difficult, but
Where are your main places that worked for you that you've been wearing?
so we did a lot from Hatch, which is
Okay.
online, incredible. We did a lot from Seraphine that apparently went out of business like a week or two ago.
Someone said that it's bankrupt. Isn't that the brand that like Kate Middleton shopped
Yes,
at for
and
maternity clothes?
This is one of the dresses, and Mom went on to see if there was anything new or fun, and there was a large like going out of business sign on the website. So yeah, we'll see about that one. And then Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's,
Yes.
a combination.
All of your clothes are so cute, and I feel like you look very comfortable.
So comfortable, and I'm loving all the dresses that I have for work. Typically I don't wear too many dresses for work, and I'm loving it. Mom really outfitted me.
No, the dresses, you had that really cute polka dot one the other day. So then how has the reaction been like telling your friends?
Oh my gosh, so much fun. So I'm trying to think. I told some of my really close college friends like Perry, Marta, Rachel, Sydney over FaceTime because we were all headed to a bachelorette party together. And so I FaceTime them, and we pretty much do a monthly FaceTime or so every 3 weeks. So it was a regular cadence. So I wasn't throwing anybody off, thank God.
Like, I can't keep up with this
Yeah,
acting.
no. Mm-mm. And so when everyone joined, I was holding up the ultrasound. Lots of screaming and fun.
Yes. Yes.
And then I'm trying to think, Connor did pretty much the same thing with his like high school and college group of friends. He FaceTimed a lot of them. I'm trying to think who else. Oh, we told our good friends Hans and Michelle in person. And it was a little bit later because we wanted to tell them in person since they live close to us. And we were able to meet their brand new baby. And I was holding their brand new baby, and they're like, "Oh, what's new?" And I said, "Well," and you could tell they both kind of stopped, and we told them about baby McCoy. But then the poor sweet baby I'm holding was like kind of falling asleep, and there's like a lot of jumping and screaming, and so I couldn't participate. And so it was just the three: Connor, Michelle, and Hans.
You guys are so funny.
I'm just holding the baby.
Oh my gosh. I bet they were excited. I mean, their baby's so cute.
Oh my gosh, just adorable. So yeah, it's been so fun all the way around telling people. Some it was FaceTime, some was just text, some was in person, but
yes.
it was weird when we started to tell people because it felt like I shouldn't because we had kept it, close to the chest for the first trimester just in case. And then there was all of a sudden a switch and then everybody was knowing.
And I love the way that you shared it on your social media as well. Obviously, as you guys know, like Claire has obviously social media, but it's like a private account with friends and family. But you basically took a picture. Go ahead and tell.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to do some sort of announcement on Instagram, but we want to do our maternity photos a little bit later. It's a little bit closer to the due date. So we found a really cute, I don't even know what you call it. It's like a onesie, but it's a sweater onesie. It's so stinking cute with a coordinating sweater hat with 2 pom-poms. And it's all, a beige ivory color since we're not finding out the gender. And it's really cozy vibes. And then I put my pregnancy journal next to it, took a picture, and that's what I posted on Instagram.
Did we share when you're due? Did you say that in the beginning?
The beginning of December.
Okay, yeah. So she's due the beginning of December, which is, I mean, I'm super biased because I'm November 30th, Elizabeth's December 12th. Like we're winter babies, but I really do feel like that's like going to be the best time to give birth because
Oh my gosh.
it'll be such a cozy Christmas, and then you can just hunker down, not leave the house, and then emerge in spring with the baby being a little bit older. So it'll be a very, very special Christmas
Yes.
for sure. I can't even It is so weird to me as your sister who's known you for your entire life to now have you be pregnant and
It's weird for me. Like I'll walk past the mirror, I'm like, oh my God, like what's happening?
How would you say you've been feeling throughout the whole pregnancy?
That's a good question. The first trimester, I was pretty sick. So I would say I had like true morning sickness. I was very lucky that it didn't go into the later half of the day. So it was very much in the mornings. And then I would be exhausted at the end of work.
Yeah.
So I would come back. Cutter and I usually go on a big walk after work and then have some dinner. And then I would pretty much just fall asleep on the couch starting at about 7 or 7:30. And Connor was, I mean, he is amazing, but specifically in the first trimester, he made every single meal. I mean, it was like I was bedridden. I was so exhausted. I could not get up off the couch. And I was like kind of pretending like I wasn't going to go to sleep. So I would lay on the couch and then it would be like 7:30. And Connor's like, oh, you could tell immediately because you kind of position yourself so that you like, I was away, like looking away from Connor and fall asleep for about 3 hours on the couch.
I mean, I can't even, like, just so exhausted. And what have been some of your cravings during the pregnancy?
Oh my gosh, chicken was a huge one.
Funny, guys.
I like chicken. I mean, I don't really think of myself as a huge chicken eater normally. I could not stop eating chicken. And to the point where Connor was only making chicken meals and it was like specifically chicken wraps for some reason. So he made chicken Caesar wraps, buffalo chicken wraps. He was really experimenting with the like 2 or 3 things that I was able to eat at that point. And then the poor thing went, I think he did one of his Costco runs and he bought like all the chicken at Costco. And
the whole place.
Yeah, right. He comes home and he's like, we are set. Like we're good. You've got your chicken, like whatever. If you want to make it for like, if we want to make it for lunch and dinner, like we are good to go. So we had just gotten our grill and I was like, let's do a chicken sandwich out on the grill. Like you can make your burger. And I finished the chicken sandwich and I walked inside and I threw up and I was like, I don't think I can eat chicken anymore.
You're like, I'm actually over the chicken. So yeah, you can take it away.
And so we had friends over shortly thereafter and I was like, does anybody want chicken?
Yes.
We have all of the chicken from Costco.
Has there been, I don't think there's really been anything else. You said like gummies.
Gummies? Yeah. So I also am not big into like, it always gives me a sugar headache, like gummy worms, gummy bears, that kind of thing. And there was like a month or 2 where all I wanted was gummies, gummy bears, gummy worms.
Yeah,
like
you're not
weird.
really a huge gummy person.
Any gummy candy.
Coffee was making you really nauseous. Does it still make you nauseous?
I would say that it makes me no, I don't think it makes me nauseous anymore. I still haven't I've had like a couple sips here and there, but I have still stayed away from it just in case. The first trimester, if I smelled coffee, I'd pretty much immediately throw up.
See, that's so funny to me because Claire, out of the 3 of us, you're probably the biggest coffee drinker. And
by far.
So like for that to just like not even be a thing, I was like, whoa, this pregnancy thing is a crazy situation.
And Connor just got in the espresso maker for Christmas. And then we find out I'm pregnant at the beginning of March. And I was like, yeah, you can't use the espresso maker until
put the Breville away.
Yes. So now he's able to use it again, which he's excited about.
Good. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of iced teas. I mean, you're not supposed to have a lot of coffee when you're pregnant.
Not a lot of caffeine. It's, I mean, people follow it or don't follow, but it's technically 200 milligrams or less of caffeine. So I've stuck with it. I'll do iced teas or like a black tea in the morning.
Yeah. I feel like you really have stuck to that completely. Okay, so I do have some questions that I'm going to go through and just kind of like run through these in case we haven't touched upon it, just so we have a little bit of an outline and we can fill some things in. One of the questions is, what's been the hardest part of keeping it a secret until right about now? I feel like you've shared like with family and friends.
Yeah, I would say that.
But before that,
we made sure that all of our family and friends knew before I posted on my personal Instagram, because, you know, if you're a good friend of mine, I don't want to find out that you're pregnant from just Instagram. So I would say, I think it was super hard the first trimester not telling anybody because you don't feel well. So like I would be in meetings and someone would have a coffee right next to me and you're like, do not throw up.
That's so hard. Like I can't even imagine like having
I had a lot of mints and gum.
Okay.
Because at least like I could focus on the mintiness of something.
Right. I feel like work would probably have been the hardest part about the whole thing because you didn't feel well. And
and I was very lucky that the morning sickness was truly before work, and then the exhaustion, like at work I was good except for, you know, if you were eating something that smelled weird or drinking coffee next to me, like I would just have to physically get up and try to move myself to the other side of the room.
And luckily you do work in like such a male dominated industry, like they probably didn't even think about that, like, oh, she might be pregnant, like that's literally the last thing they're thinking of.
Yeah, so that was helpful for sure.
Yeah, this is cute, kind of going into like like your emotions and reactions. How did you feel when you first saw the positive test?
Oh, out of my mind excited.
Was it surreal? Like, could you not even believe it?
Yes. And I had taken pregnancy tests before, and obviously it had never been positive. So when I saw, I kind of, hyped myself up, and I had told myself I wasn't going to take a pregnancy test. And then I took one. And the minute that I did the one that had the 2 lines as opposed to the pregnant, not pregnant, which I then did after. And when I saw the second line appear, it was bizarre. I was like, wait a second, this isn't happening. And that's when I immediately ran out of the bathroom and was like screaming for Connor to get up. And he was so confused initially because he's like, why, what is wrong?
Right.
And then the second that he found out, he was like, he started to tear up. He was so excited.
And that is sweet that it was just the 2 of you, and like, because you might have taken it when he wasn't home,
right?
And like had to call him or whatever. Like,
yes.
I like that you both were in person.
And some people, and I give them so much credit, are able to do a really cute thing for their partner. There's you guys. I mean, you heard me try to not even lie, keep something from my mom for like 6 hours. There was no part of me that would have been able to keep it from Connor.
No, not at all. No, you want to share that moment together for sure. I think how it happened was so organic and like genuine. Okay, so have there been any surprises along the way that you didn't expect, just as pregnancy as a whole? I know you mentioned like the first appointment, everyone was kind of solemn. Like maybe that's something you didn't expect, but was there anything else that you were like, oh my God, I had no idea?
I'm trying to think. I'm actually kind of surprised because I feel like a lot of my friends aren't finding out the gender.
Okay.
And I think that way more people are let's see if I can phrase this right. I'm surprised by how many people are surprised that we're not finding out the gender. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just the people around me, for the most part, haven't found out the gender, or it's 50-50. So I didn't think we were doing anything crazy or out of the ordinary. And that's been a big reaction.
Maybe it's because everyone wants to like buy their things ahead of time, plan the nursery, like get super, super prepared.
And our nursery, we're nearing the end of it. So we still have to put the wallpaper up. That's the big project left. But for the most part, everything's ordered.
Yeah, tell us about the nursery and everything.
It's so stinking cute. So we did the Erin line from Pottery Barn Kids, and it is the vines and animals. I'm sure we could get the exact.
I'll link it.
Okay, I was going to say we can get the exact link and everything. But the wallpaper is so sweet. It comes in both blue and an ivory, and we're doing the ivory. And so there's animals, there's giraffes and rabbits all along the bottom. And then we did the Erin Pottery Barn lattice crib and dresser. So those 2 coordinate. We just picked out our glider maybe a week or 2 ago, and that is the Oilo Drew.
Okay.
There's so many different weird words.
Idea.
You know what? Back to what has been a surprise. There are so many brands that sell so many things, and I don't know the right answer to any of them. Like, I wish that someone would just give me a list of what they would suggest, and I could just register for those or purchase those because, and everyone has their own opinions.
Right.
Because every baby obviously is different, but oh my goodness. I'm trying to think what else in the nursery. So it's a lot of giraffes. So we have I registered for a darling giraffe basket that'll hold blankets or books. And then I'm trying to think what else in the nursery, but it's very gender neutral.
And you chose my old bedroom, which was also Mom's old bedroom, as the nursery, which is the first bedroom, like off of the primary, which I think was smart because you can,
so it's the closest.
Yeah, get there the quickest.
Yes, and the plan is to leave that room the nursery. So some people, especially if you know the gender, I feel like they do the bedroom for the child specifically, and then that's their bedroom for however long. We're doing it so the nursery stays the nursery, and then if we have a second or a third child, then we'll move the first baby to another room.
I like that idea. That's actually really smart. Yeah, and I feel very honored that the baby will be in. Oh, can we tell everyone what we've been calling the baby?
Oh, please.
So we have been calling, obviously, since we don't know the gender, and we haven't, since we don't know the gender, we don't know the names. So we've been calling the baby Bean, and Elizabeth came up with that.
Yes.
She's always so good at coming up with like little phrases and names. And this was when we were in Palm Beach and you had just found out you were pregnant. And each week, they track on whatever, something, how large the baby is that week. And you told Elizabeth, you're like, oh, it was a week or 2 weeks or whatever.
I think it was 4. Yeah.
So she was at 4 weeks and Elizabeth was like, what's the size of the baby? And Claire goes, oh, it's the size of a vanilla bean seed. And Elizabeth was like, that is so small. So then she was like, oh my gosh, like it's baby bean. So we started calling from that moment, which was a couple days after you found out you were pregnant. So now everybody calls the baby bean. So feel free to call the baby bean as well, because that's how we refer. So whenever we see Claire, we're like, how's baby bean? It just rolls off the tongue. Mom also said to share this story about when Elizabeth and I were walking in Palm Beach.
Oh, yeah.
So again, we don't know the gender. And really day to day it can change, like what we feel she's having and whatever you have. Obviously, we just want a healthy baby. But I do have to tell you guys this story. So she just found out she was pregnant. Elizabeth and I were on a walk in Palm Beach. We were power walking and we were on that like main drive of like where all the pretty houses are overlooking the ocean. Nobody's really around. It's pretty quiet. And we're talking about Claire and the pregnancy and we just can't even believe our sister's pregnant. This is absolutely crazy. And as we're walking, Elizabeth literally, you know how loud she can gasp. She gasps, throws her hand out, and she stops me and she goes, and I go, what? And we turn to this beautiful house right on the water and there's 2 pillars like on the front drive walkway up to the house and nobody's around, you guys, not a soul. And on one of the pillars is a teeny tiny little baby's shoe. On one of the pillars is a little teeny tiny little baby shoe and it had a pink bow on it and it was pink on the inside. So we're looking around, we're like, oh my God, this is a sign. And there was just one, there wasn't 2. Like some little child had lost their shoe. So I take a picture of it, I'm gonna find it, I'll post it on Bose and Company. So we so like sweet. Run back to the house, we're like, this is such a sign, like I got chills. And we tell you guys this. So then a little while later we go back and the shoe's gone. Like the little baby shoe is gone. So Elizabeth and I are convinced that she's having a girl based off of that. Now could be wrong, probably will be wrong, but that's my
as we're telling the story, the baby was kicking.
Oh my God, I literally have the chills. Like that's crazy.
Connor is on board that it's a girl.
Okay.
That he's been pretty convinced it's a girl the whole time, except for like 1 or 2 weeks in there he thought it was a boy. I would say I would have leaned more boy most of the pregnancy than recently I've thought girl.
Okay.
I have a friend who is dead set that it's a boy. And she has not, I will say she's not been wrong on a single choice, or not single guess.
Single guess.
Yes, of what somebody is having. And so she says boy. And then she also declared that she gets naming rights if she is correct.
If she's correct. Carolyn, she was. Luckily, like we are not, you guys especially, like you don't care one way or the other. Like literally not at all. Same with like us. We just don't care. And if that baby shoe thing hadn't happened, I would have no idea. But we're just kind of running with it.
I will say it was really fun at the beginning telling complete strangers that I was pregnant because I wasn't really we weren't telling anybody. So I was at a wedding for friends of ours and we didn't know anyone else at our table. And I was sitting next to a girl who was really, really sweet. And I was like, oh, I'm actually not, because she asked me if I wanted a drink. And I was like, oh, I'm not drinking. I'm actually newly pregnant. Couldn't have been nicer. She had a little one herself. And she said, she said the same thing Carolyn did, but the exact opposite. She's like, I'm never wrong. And you're having a girl. I don't know who she is.
Oh my gosh. I never heard this story either. That's exciting.
Couldn't have been nicer. And she was like, I'm going to need you to let me know somehow. Like if you could text, because the bride was the person that we had in common. She's like, if you could text the bride and let her know to let me know what you have, I will remember this moment and I need to keep track.
Oh my God. That's so sweet.
Isn't that hilarious?
That's so sweet. I feel like there's been lots of those like little moments throughout this entire thing. Questions related to the journey so far of this all. How has your pregnancy journey been up until now? Any particular highs or lows?
I would say the hardest part was like those 6 weeks or so, and I was lucky it's not been the whole pregnancy. So the 6 weeks or so where I was extremely sick in the morning and then exhausted at night. But the second that I hit my second trimester, which was pretty much Elizabeth's graduation weekend, I stopped being sick in the mornings, got my energy back. I felt great. I've loved the second trimester.
Yes. I feel like you've like been normal Claire throughout the second trimester.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Back to you were telling random people. I remember like one of the first people I told was my friend Kelsey, you just found out, and her sister had just had a baby and she was showing me pictures. She's like, oh my God, my sister's pregnant. She was like, oh my God, how far along is she? And I was literally like, the 3 weeks. And she was like, Emily, like, and then I remember I told my now boyfriend on our first date. Oh. And that was right after you had found out.
Wait, that's so cute.
I told him like right away. And I was like, don't tell anyone. He was like, don't worry, I'm not going to tell anyone. So he was like one of the first people that I
That's
told.
adorable.
And he like he didn't say a word. I'm like, well, now you can share it. Like now everybody knows. Like you don't have to take it too seriously.
Right.
But you do remember those first couple people that you tell, and it's not even my pregnancy. So
Right.
okay, the next question is, have you started thinking about names, or are you still up in the air?
We have definitely started thinking about names. We're pretty much set on both girl and boy as of right now. I mean, I'm sure it could change because we thought we were set on a girl, and then Connor thought of another name, which has just by far been our favorite. So as of right now, we definitely have front runners, and then we have a couple backups, for both boy or girl. But the goal is to go into the hospital knowing if it's a girl, the name, and if it's a boy, the name.
Yeah, I feel like you have two really solid names ready to go. What's one thing you're most excited about when it comes to being a parent?
Oh my gosh. Well, I am so excited to see Connor as a dad. I feel like, especially with our nieces, he just thrives with like all the little kids and all that kind of stuff. So I'm so excited to see him as a dad. I'm trying to think. It's crazy to think that someone's going to be fully dependent on Connor and I. Like we think about that sometimes. It's like, oh my goodness, like this person. It's like I'm trying to think of this. So like when you hold a baby and they start to cry and you give the baby back to the mom and they immediately stop crying and you're like, oh, that's so sweet. Like that's going to be me.
No, guys, it's just a crazy thing that you are pregnant and like there will be a person who we haven't met yet, like coming into the family and like I'll be related. Like we'll be aunts, like mom and dad will be grandparents. Like it's just, the whole thing is very surreal. And also because you are the oldest and like going through this, like you're the first one to have the baby, like it's just, and you're the first great grandchild. You will have the first great grandchild. The whole thing is very, very surreal.
Yes, no, it's bizarre. And to think in December, like December sounds so far away, but then when you think about how many weeks I am and how many months I have left, I'm like, oh my goodness, December's pretty close.
Well, and I also thought when you found out, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you found out so early, but it's truly flown by.
I cannot believe it.
A lot of people on social media were suspecting and like DMing me.
Wait,
I'm like,
cute.
we just have to we just need to announce, like we're not hiding it.
No.
In the beginning, obviously you wanted to make sure. But then like when we were in Rhode Island, I think they thought that they were like debunking something. Like,
okay, that's really fun.
I'm like, yeah, Claire is pregnant. We're getting to it. We're going to talk about it on the podcast. Like one thing at a time, everyone. We want to share with you. Don't worry. Like,
well, and I also feel like too, I'm not really one for in front of the camera to begin with. And then you throw in the fact that I have a baby bump and I haven't, like we had told most of our friends, but I hadn't put it on my social media. So you were really sweet and you were keeping me out of pictures and videos purposely so it didn't spoil anything. And then I think I looked missing.
You did. I'm like, well, maybe if I show Connor, like they'll know that you're on the trip and whatever. But it was one of those things you wanted to share first on your social media. Like, again, Claire is not one for social media as much. I always get questions about that. I'm like, she's so involved in Emily on Bose. Obviously, I see you pretty much every single day. But like Elizabeth obviously likes social media, being in pictures, content a lot more. But like,
I call myself the back end team.
You are the back end team. That's a great way to put it. Exactly. Because you're always so involved and like helpful with stuff. But like some people just don't like.
Or I'd rather, like if we're taking pictures, rather hold everybody's stuff while you take the picture or take the picture myself.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So that's just like, so but then adding that on top of the fact that I was like, guys, we're getting to it. Like, don't worry. We're not trying to hide anything. This is
separate from my pregnancy announcement. I don't even think I've posted anything on social media. Like about like even with the baby bump or anything.
No. No, not at all.
Not even purposely. I just haven't thought about it.
No, exactly. And like you said, you're on social media, but you're not like a big poster, big social media person. So, okay, preparing for the baby. How are you preparing for the baby's arrival? Any specific plans you're excited about? I know we touched upon the nursery, which I'm sure you'll see pictures at some point. Is there anything else you're doing? I know that, so you're having 2 baby showers. You're having one friend's baby shower that our Aunt Julia's hosting. And then we're having another baby shower with like family and my mom's like friends and such. So that'll be September and October.
Yes.
So obviously you have your registry.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun to put together. A little bit hard. Like I was saying earlier, that there are so many different brands and so many people have different suggestions based off of what their baby used. Like it's kind of hard to figure out what'll be best. So hopefully what I registered for works. And if not, we'll find out.
What are some of the items that you've registered for, just to give some people some ideas?
So a lot of fun nursery things. So we got the big things for the nursery, but then I've added a lot of the decor for the nursery in there, which is so fun. A lot of the swaddles, newborn clothes, a lot of the first aid medical type things. So I've gotten a lot of suggestions to use Frida Baby. So we've gone through, like nail clippers, thermometer, things like that. And then a lot of good toys and tummy time materials.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of Love Every, I think is how you say it. It's a lot of Montessori based stuff, and a lot of my friends who have used it have loved it, and their kids have loved it. So we did a lot of their line. I'm trying to think. Oh, the stroller, car seat, of course, high chair, pack and play. We did most of that from Silvercross. So I did the stroller from Silvercross. And then the car seats were Nuna. We actually, this is a funny story. So we were in Chicago visiting my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. And as we were there, we were staying near a mall that had a Pottery Barn Kids. And we don't have a Pottery Barn Kids in Cleveland. So my mother-in-law was like, let's go and we'll look. And then, of course, we ended up at Nordstrom as well after the Pottery Barn Kids.
Right.
And as we're looking at the car seats and the strollers, there's a guy in scrubs who we're not talking to at all. He's just kind of sitting in the shoe department, which is right next door to the strollers. And I'm looking at the car seats, and I was more focused on the strollers. Like, Connor was really looking at the car seats. I'm like, I'm just going to do the fun thing right now, like push around all the different strollers. And the guy in scrubs turns to Connor and says, you don't want that one. And Connor's like, oh, okay. He's like, I'm actually, I'm a trauma surgeon in the emergency room, and I specialize in pediatrics. This is the car seat that I would get. And that's the one we registered for.
That is so crazy. Like, that's another one of the stories where you're like, wait, what?
Yes. And his wife walked over and she started laughing, and she's like, oh my gosh, are you giving people suggestions again? And I think he I don't know, he must do this a lot, which makes total sense. He's a trauma surgeon in an emergency room, but it was hysterical because his wife could totally tell what he was doing.
That's so funny. It's like he had to like share it with everybody.
And he gave a full report. He was like, this is great for neck support. This is great for, and he was like, I only put my kids in these.
Wow.
It's like, what is your name and number?
Are you a rep for the brand?
I know.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So nice of you.
That is so nice. So yeah, you've worked a lot on the registry.
Yes, and Mom and I had so much. Well, obviously Connor too. He picked up the monitor, but Mom and I had so much fun with all the decor stuff as we were going through. So before I was even pregnant, had picked out the wallpaper and some of the other like general items for the nursery, just because I had seen it and I loved how it looked. And then we had so much fun picking out all the other baby stuff.
I know. It's actually good that we don't know the gender, because it's like rating us all in, because I think it will be bananas whenever we find out.
Yes. And Connor was great with all this stuff that required research. So he picked out the monitor, the car seat, while the emergency room trauma guy helped tremendously.
Right.
The stroller and all that kind of stuff. So he was good with all of that.
I feel like you guys have been a good team, kind of like dividing. And you have on, your Connor's side, his two brothers both have children. So this will be the fourth great grandchild on that side, which is crazy.
It's nuts.
So exciting. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about, which might be too early, but if you don't want to answer these, just pass. What qualities do you hope to pass down to your child from both you and your partner?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a loaded question.
It is
for
a
the
loaded
first
question.
podcast.
We were just looking. Oh, do you mean physical qualities or
We can do both.
Like personality?
Let's do both.
Okay, so we were looking at baby pictures of both Connor and I the other night just for fun to kind of see what our baby might look like. I don't know what we thought would end up from this situation, but we were just looking through, the pictures and everything. And I thought my dark curly hair was so stinking cute when I was little. So I kind of hope that the baby has curly hair when they're born, or after they're born. I'm trying to think what else. Connor was a really cute baby as well. So like we've got some cute genes coming our way.
You were such a cute baby too. You were so sweet. You look like an Adora doll. And you both had big eyes, I feel like.
Yes, very big eyes. And Connor has the sweetest little smile when he was little. And so that would be a fun one. I'm trying to think what else in terms of personality. I hope they get Connor's sense of humor. I think that's just hysterical. My organization would be fun.
You're so cute. Yes. I feel like they'll get both of your best qualities for
One
sure.
can hope.
One can hope, especially like oldest baby.
Right, exactly.
It's usually like the best one.
No, but Connor did say the other day, because we were talking about girl or boy and predictions, and we ask each other like every 48 hours what we think the baby is and what the name should be and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, well, it would be really fun to have a girl as the oldest, because I really like oldest daughters.
Oh,
and I was like,
my God. That is the cutest thing ever. You guys are so cute. I mean, it would be either way. It'll just be so exciting because the baby, he or she, will be smothered with love. Okay, is there anything that you're nervous about in terms of parenting? And not so much parenting like long term, but maybe more in the short term, like right when the baby shows up. What's something that you've thought about?
I'm trying to think.
How do you feel about labor?
That's a good question. We scheduled all of our classes just yesterday. So like the baby basics class, it's called the dad class, the labor and delivery class, the virtual tour, all of that kind of stuff. So I feel like I'm a kind of person, if I have a lot of information too, I feel better about it. Like I wouldn't want to walk into anything blind, let alone labor and delivery.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely nervous, but overall, like medical type things don't really freak me out. So I'm hoping I'll be okay.
No, yeah, for sure. I keep having dreams. Not to talk about me for 2 seconds. That I am in giving birth to the baby. I'm in the hospital, but I keep saying to the doctors like, it's my sister, like you have the wrong person.
Yeah,
and like they're
funny.
expecting me to deliver the baby, and then I wake up and I don't know if that's some sort of like sister like
Maybe.
empathy, whatever, but I'm like, no, Claire's coming, it's not me. Like I don't know what's
That's
going
hilarious.
on. Yeah, I feel like you'll be very calm when it comes to labor and like
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think I'm nervous about the lack of sleep, which obviously you can't. I mean, that's everyone goes through that. And then it of course gets better at some point. And then I would say the fact that there's someone fully dependent on
all the
us.
time.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. That is so crazy.
It's actually insane.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times that we all call mom. I was
I
like,
know.
wait, I'm gonna be the mom.
You're gonna be the mom.
Yeah.
That's so true. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. I feel like the first couple days, I don't know, but like even for me, I think, and for Elizabeth and everyone, it'll be surreal. Like you coming home and you're like, oh my god, now we have this like
There's another
baby
child here. Mm-hmm.
Let us know, like if you're listening, when you were a new mom and you came home with your baby, like how it felt and like what those first couple days were like.
Yes. And honestly, and I love any and all advice. Like any advice on
Claire does.
products, any advice on being a parent, any good books to read. I'm very open. I love all of that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I think
direct those to Anne, not Claire or me. Direct those straight to Sincerely Anne because
There we
she's
go.
really good at answering her DMs. So yeah, if you do have any suggestions or leave them in the comments of like this YouTube video or Bose and Company DMs are open. We check those a lot as well. I don't want you to get bombarded with suggestions from
yeah,
people
right.
who I'm like keep those on public social media. But yeah, you do really like any
Oh
suggestions.
my gosh, absolutely.
And it was really sweet because when we had our trunk show in Chicago, I guess that was in June, Katie, who's the owner of
Oh my
Shop
gosh.
Boutique, just had her baby. And she had really great advice for you. Did she send you?
Oh yeah, she sent me links and stuff. I was asking her questions. She's the reason as well that we wanted to get the Silver Cross because she walked in with the most beautiful stroller I've ever seen. And then she was giving a tutorial on it and she was telling us that the car seat that we had picked out would fit into this. It was fantastic.
Yeah, she was super helpful and had really great suggestions. Okay, next set of questions. How has the support from your friends and family been throughout this process? I feel like
Oh my
we
gosh,
answered this.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, family's been amazing, obviously. Friends have been fantastic. A lot of helpful tips. It's fun being pregnant with other friends who are pregnant, and then also that they've had their babies, and so I can learn from them before December.
Yes, a lot of your friends like Perry, Michelle, I'm trying to think who else. That's pretty much it so far that have had babies.
A lot of Connor's friends have had
a
babies.
ton of I guess you're right.
They've texted me great advice and products and things like that.
Yes.
Because Connor's 4 years older too, so a lot of his friends are on their second babies.
That's so true. And your sister-in-laws, of course.
Yes.
Yes. What's one thing that's been incredibly helpful from loved ones so far? Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that's really cute. Well, starting with Connor, the entire first trimester,
Right.
basically waiting on me hand and foot, making every single meal. He was just like always up for anything and everything. Like the amount of chicken wraps that man consumed in like a short period of time.
Aw.
Never once complained that like maybe he could be getting sick of a chicken wrap for the 13th night in a row.
Yes.
So that would be great. And then, well, obviously mom and all of the support with literally everything so
Right.
far. I mean, dad has been incredible at work. It was hard for him to keep the secret too, because I think I fall into that same category as dad. Like dad can't keep a secret and I can't lie. I can't keep I don't want to know. and he was amazing. And there was one time where someone was asking me, which is kind of a strange question, but they were asking me when I would be having kids.
Okay.
And I looked over and Dad's face is like basically bright red. And he's like, I'm going to go get some more coffee. Does anyone need anything? And he just physically removed himself.
He just walked away. Wait, that's so funny. Do people at work know, like, like clients and stuff when you go to like showings and stuff? Does it ever come up?
I would say
like you're showing now.
Yeah. No, I mean, we told my coworkers probably the 4th month. So like after the first like truly after the first trimester, a couple weeks or so, because then Dad was out of town. Or you guys were in Europe. That's what it was. So it was like I wasn't going to tell that. Like right as I hit the end of the first trimester, he was out of town. So I wasn't going to then tell everybody with him not at work.
Right.
And then I follow a lot of people that I know from work. We follow each other on Instagram. So like also if they didn't know, when I posted on my social media, they found out. And I would say it's pretty obvious right now.
No, now we're obvious. Yeah. I just didn't know how it was at work. Yeah.
A lot of it isn't like formal announcements, but it's just like, word of mouth or just looking at me.
No, yeah. Now at this point, it's good now that you have like popped, because I feel like it just like goes without saying. What's one thing you're most excited to do with your baby once they're born?
Oh my gosh. I feel like once the good weather hits in the spring or summer and the baby's a little bit older, like going for walks and playing outside, I think is going to be so much fun. My guess is I'm just going to sit and stare at this baby a lot too.
I think that's what we're all going to do. Like we're just going to
all the baby snuggles.
Either be at mostly your house or over here and just staring and touching the baby and like not even like understanding like this is one of our family members.
Yeah,
now.
right.
Like, I think that's so crazy. No, I have to agree with you. How do you think becoming a parent will change your life?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I think it'll change it a lot for sure.
I think it'll be upside down.
Yeah. And I'm always intrigued when people say what the hardest transition is, 0 to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. And I feel like a lot of people would say that 0 to 1 is the biggest transition because you're just worried about yourself and, your husband or wife at that point, your partner. Right. And then now you've got a whole other human life form in front of you. So I think it'll change a lot. I think work will change a ton. So I'll be on maternity leave and then I plan to go back to work and everything. So it's just be a big change that there's a whole other person
Yes.
I really keep harping on the fact that there's a whole other person I'm in charge of. Like it's really it's ingrained in me right now.
That would be so like I can't even imagine. Like I am obviously not in the state to have a child right now because like I can't even like wrap my head around the fact that I have to take care of another person. Like I'm so not ready. Right. What are you most looking forward to in this new chapter?
Oh my gosh. I think that we have been so excited to have a baby. So I think that it, for the most part, like that it'll actually be here and that we'll have the baby and it'll be real.
And your family's starting like and growing. I agree with you. It has been always something like, even when you're little, like, oh, when I have kids, or it's like, now it's here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I'm so excited to see you guys as aunts, mom and dad as grandparents, especially because it's the first grandchild or first niece or nephew in the family. So I think that's going to be really fun.
I agree. Okay. Moving on to some more lighthearted questions. Do you have any funny pregnancy moments or things that have happened so far?
I'm trying to think.
I don't feel like anything like crazy funny.
No, I think that the only funny thing so far is when Connor went and got all the chicken, and the day he got the chicken is when I declared that I was done with chicken.
No more chicken. We're done with the chicken. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you on that.
And now I eat chicken like a normal person. Like I'm not eating it every single day.
What is one thing you wish someone had told you before you were pregnant, like during pregnancy?
I was just talking to Mom about this today. There are so many things that I don't know or I didn't know that I now know because a friend recently, we were having dinner at their house and she asked me, she's like, have you added your baby to your insurance? And I looked at her, I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I didn't know I had to do that.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know how there would be a tutorial necessarily for that kind of thing because I think you do just learn from other people, but there are just things that I hear and I'm like, well, it makes total sense. Like you're going to have to do that. But there was not a single part of me that thought of that.
I think things will just continue to pop up. Like I was at a Pilates class the other day and someone was clearly a new mom and I don't know what the conversation was about, but they are obviously going out of the country. And she was like, I didn't even know like babies, like I need to go get a baby passport. Like I don't even, go to the post office with your child. Like it's things like that. And now I feel like I'm catching on to them or hearing them more just because I'm more, tuned to
Right.
think of you. But I think more stuff like that will continue to pop up.
Yes. Connor
sure.
and I, no joke, had about an hour-long discussion that could have been like 4 minutes by the time we figured out like what the answer was. But we're looking at each other because as we had picked out the car seat and it comes with a base. And again, I think that this is very common sense for most people, but for whatever reason, the two of us could not get it through our heads like how this worked.
Yeah.
So the car seat, we picked one that wasn't baseless, so it comes with a base, and we're like, okay, so we're gonna install that into my car at some point. And I'm like, but what do we do if we have to travel? And I'm like, what does everybody who travel, like, how do you get a baby into an Uber or like a rental car? And we were laughing so hard by the end of this conversation because I'm like, if anybody could hear us, we're like thinking of different scenarios. I'm like, okay, when we went to Palm Beach and we saw families that were at the breakers, like, how did they get their kids from one place to another?
Yeah.
And we're like, so then Connor's like, okay, let's just pull up the car seat. Like, we're going to pull up the one that we figured, like, that we are going to buy. Let's just read about it. So we started reading. It's also baseless. So all you have to do is use a seatbelt when you don't have the base, and you just put the seatbelt in a certain way. And we really could have saved ourselves a lot of time if we had just read the description.
You got to the bottom of that. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of those moments.
Oh my gosh, so many. So now periodically it's like, so how, like, are we good on the car seat? Like, we just keep bringing it up because we can't even believe that we had a conversation like that for an hour.
But it's so fun. Like, I do feel like, how has it changed, like, your marriage, like, as a couple? Just, do you feel like it's any different, or?
I'm trying to think. I think that we are savoring a lot of stuff right now. So we've made a list of things that we want to do before the baby comes. A lot of it is like more task oriented, like specific to the nursery, or, you know, adding your baby to your insurance now. But a lot of other things are like fun date nights, or, you know, things like that we wanted to make sure to be intentional about before the baby gets here. And I think it's also a really fun project in a way. Like, we have had the most fun working on the nursery together, researching specific products and stuff.
Wait,
together.
I could tear up just thinking about the fact that this is like, it's only been the two of you.
Yeah.
And
no,
now
it's
there's going to be
so
no
weird.
person. Oh my God. We're like very also like, I feel like our emotions are so like, we feel everybody's emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, I didn't even really think about that.
And like December will be the last time it'll just be the two of us.
Oh my God, I'm going to start crying. That's such a crazy thought. Like, it'll never just be the two of you.
Right.
Whoa.
Which is amazing. We're so excited. But also just a weird thought.
Didn't know we were getting so deep on today's podcast. No, for sure. Like, I can guarantee every parent, like,
oh, for sure.
Like, how have you guys, like, things are just coming to my desk, across my desk now that I'm sure you guys have thought about for a lot longer. But I do feel like, you know, you have the house, like, it was like the perfect amount of time being married, just the two of you. Like, you could not have planned it better if you tried. An ongoing discussion that we've been having is kind of like what mom and dad's grandparent names are going to be. I don't know if we've come to a conclusion.
When you started the sentence, like, I wonder if she knows the answer to that quite yet.
We don't have that figured out quite yet. Obviously, like, growing up, we called Grammy and Papa. Okay. My dad's parents were Grandma and Grandpa Coyne. So yeah, we still have to figure that out. So if anyone has any suggestions for Anna and Terry as to what their grandparent names could be, let us know. Elizabeth is convinced that Bitsy is going to be hopefully easy for the baby to say.
Possibly.
We'll see. I feel like she'll go by Aunt Bitsy. I don't know what Miss Bose. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to kind of see how that takes form for what everyone's going to be called. But again, mom's like, whatever the baby can pronounce is what I will be called.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And everyone was trying to put, like, typically babies say dada before mama. Like, the D sounds a little bit easier for them. So I've heard. Again, not a parent, but so I've heard. And so then had that ongoing running joke that we were just adding like a da in front of everything. So it was like DeBitsy.
DeBitsy, DeBose, exactly. Yeah. And whatever the baby can pronounce, that'll be. But that won't be for a little bit right now. But I think those were all of the questions. And obviously, I am sure everyone listening will have maybe some more questions. And we're going to do like another check-in during this pregnancy. But we're so thrilled to finally share this wonderful, amazing news with everyone here on Bose & Company. It is just, it's the most exciting thing in the world. And we're just tickled that we get to share it with you guys and that you're doing so well. And thank you for coming on to the show to share with my audience.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, we are so happy. And we just are so excited for this next chapter and for the rest of your pregnancy. And I will be sure to keep everybody on the show updated. We want to hear all of your mom and baby suggestions. Yes. We're so excited. And maybe like we'll start a poll on what we think it's going to be, a boy or a girl.
Yeah, no, 100%.
What a fun game.
I love hearing everyone's different predictions. I would say it's leaning more boy than it is girl from like the the polls that we've, just kind of taken with our friends. But the wives' tales are leaning girl.
Yes. Like
So,
what?
morning sickness.
Uh-huh.
I can't think of a single other one right now, but let me think. Although the chicken was boy,
Okay.
like, oh, sweet, I think is girl. The heartbeat, if it's above a certain, I forget the exact threshold, but I looked it up at some point, and the heartbeat rate is leaning girl.
Okay. I mean, again, we could really go either way. So doesn't matter. A healthy baby. But thank you all so much for listening to this episode and for joining us on this exciting journey and chapter in our lives. It is literally so special. So be sure to follow me along on social media for all other updates. Like I said, we'll definitely have you back on the show before you get
for
birth.
sure.
So we can check in with everything. On that, thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode. And remember that everything is in fact better with a bow. Bye-bye now.